Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rahayu Nimas Marta and my ID number is 2101 I would like to explain to you about importance of UV skin protection. Before we start, I would like to ask you about when you're doing outdoor activities, what kind of protection do you use for your skin? Maybe you use a jacket, a hat, umbrella, or sunscreen or sunblock, right? Okay. Uh, why UV skin protection is important? Okay. Activities in outdoor expose skin to ultraviolet or UV radiation, which can damage the skin. UV radiation are classified into three types, that is UVA, UVB, and UVC. UVA and UVB radiation cannot be filtered by the ozone layer, so can be a big effect of damage the skin. Therefore, the skin must be protected both physically, such as use long sleeves, an umbrella, or a hat, and chemically, such as by skin protection treatment such as sunscreen. And sunscreen is a chemical substance into the form of a lotion or a gel, protects the skin from UV radiation. If sunscreen is not applied while exposed to UV radiation, it will have a harmful effect on the skin, such as sunburn, freckles, and skin cancer. Here are some effects if people do not use sunscreen when conducting outdoor activities. The first one is sunburn. Sunburn is the first effect of UV radiation that can be seen directly on the skin if people do not use sunscreen. This is the picture uh, of a sunburn. Okay, you can see skin exposed to UV radiation become redness and sometimes feel sore. Guerra and Cran 2020 conclude that sunburn is a type of radiation burn to the skin produced by excessive exposure to ultraviolet or UV rays from the sun or artificial sources such as tanning beds. So the biggest risk factors for sunburn is the amount of time the skin is exposed to UV rays or UV radiation plus the intensity. And G2023 argues that this happens because when in the sun, the skin will produce more melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives color to the skin. If the skin not enough to produce melanin, UV radiation will seep into the skin layers and the skin will be harmed. If it is not treated immediately, the skin will reduce the function of the skin and swelling will occur. According to Roy and Octarlina 2018, sunburn that is not too severe can heal spontaneously, but in several cases, sunburn can cause dehydration and infection and even skin cancer. And this is the picture of freckles. The next effect is freckles. Freckles are small brown or red spots that appear on the skin caused by too long exposure to UV. These freckles exist because the skin produces a lot of melanin to protect the skin and is usually found on cheeks, nose, and forehead. In a study by the Iranian Journal of Medical Science in Ramadan 2023, freckles are brown spots caused by an increased amount of pigmentation or we call with melanin. An American Cancer Society said that melanin, which is generated by melanocytes in the skin, protects the skin from harm from the sun by taking in and reflecting ultraviolet or UV radiation. When skin exposed to UV, their melanocytes produce more melanin. The good news is that freckles that don't have a lot or are not large on the face or our skin can be cured with cosmetics such as sunscreen. And the last effect is the most dangerous is skin cancer. This is the picture of skin cancer. Skin cancer occurs when there is no protection on the skin, such as sunscreen when it is exposed to UV radiation too often. For example, working directly under the hot sun radiation every day without using a long sleeves, hats or umbrella and sunscreen. This can have an effect on skin tissue destruction. Based on Cancer Research UK 2020, DNA instructs our cell on how to work. If enough DNA damage builds over time, it can cause cell to expand out of control, leading to skin cancer. Skin cancer may affect everyone, although certain people are at a higher risk, such as those who burn easily. This is the research that said the importance of protect your skin from UV radiation. According Indonesia Cancer Care Community or ICCC, according Indonesia Cancer Care Community or ICCC, around 6,170 cases of non-melanoma skin cancer and 1,392 cases of melanoma skin cancer in 2018. And based on Cancer Council and SWW, over 440,000 Australians are treated for skin cancer, and unfortunately, more than 2,000 Australians die each year from skin cancer. Okay, this is the 5 ways to protect yourself from skin cancer. The first one is sleep. Clothing that covers your shoulders, arms, and legs is the one of the most effective ways to protect your skin. And slop. Slop SPF 30 plus or higher broad spectrum water resistant sunscreen will create a barrier between UV and your skin. And slap. Sun smart hats protect your face, ears, and neck, the most common spots for skin cancer. And the next, seek, find shade whenever you can. shade alone and can reduce UV exposure by up to 75%. And slide. Sunglasses that meet Australian standard AS1067 and fit your face reduce UV exposure to your eyes. And the next is how to apply sunscreen. The first one, apply sunscreen to all areas of skin that will not be covered by clothing. Two, use at least one of sunscreen or enough to fill a shot glass to cover exposed areas. On one should cover the whole body, but you might need to adjust the amount depending on your body size and body hair. And the third is apply the sunscreen to dry skin about 15 to until 30 minutes before going outdoors. This gives time to be absorbed. And four, apply sunscreen at least every 2 hours or more, often after swimming or sweating. And the five is protect your lips by applying a lip balm or lipstick that contains sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher. And next, based on three effects caused by exposure to UV radiation are very disturbing during daily activities. That only way to keep activities running effectively even outside the room is to take prevention. Prevention can be done by using umbrellas, long clothes, hats, and especially sunscreen. The most important prevention is to use sunscreen uh, 30 minutes before doing activities in the sun and repeat it every 1 or 2 hours. And sunscreen can protect the skin from exposure to UV radiation because it has been treated with chemicals made especially to protect the skin. Maybe just all for you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.